Okay, this video is going to be for language, but it is going to be for Thursday, January 7th and Friday, January 8th. You can view it again to remind yourself about what I say if you need to on the 8th. But what you're going to be doing on Thursday after we review for the test is we're going to start the book report, and you will continue that on Friday. Again, you can review it so that you can review for the test again. You can view the same video on the 8th and remind yourself about what I tell you about the book report. Today for penmanship, you also are going to do your My Writing collection. That is what it says to do, is continue writing in your My Writing collection. But tomorrow for penmanship, you are just supposed to finish up your book report, anything that you haven't finished. So that gives you 2 language days and 1 penmanship time to do the book report. So that should be plenty of time. So first of all, I am going to start with reviewing for the test. And again, you can watch this video today and review for the test and watch it again tomorrow, because basically I would be telling you the same thing. And we will review again after we get back into school on Monday the 11th. Alright, so the first section on your test will be telling me whether the word that is in bold print is a verb or not. Okay, and what did we say a verb is? A verb is a word that usually shows action. Okay, verb is a word that usually shows action. Okay, so I've reviewed that with you at least 2 days, giving you very similar sentences and words to what's going to be on the test. Okay, and remember, a bold print word is just darker than all the rest. And if you get to the test and you're not sure which one's bold print, then you can ask, and I will tell you, this is the bold print word they're talking about. They want to know if that word is a verb. Then you're also going to be doing subjects and predicates, and I have a couple of sentences on the board that we're going to be doing. And you're going to be using your proofreader marks to make corrections on the test. And again, I have a couple of sentences on the board that we're going to do in a moment. Then you're going to be doing verb tense. That's present tense, past tense, and future tense. So that's today, which is present tense, yesterday, which is past tense, and tomorrow, which is future tense. They're going to give you a verb, and you need to write it on the line. And again, we're going to do that on the board in a moment. The only other thing that's on the test is you're going to pick the verb that goes with the subject. Remember, the subject and the verb have to agree as far as whether they're singular or plural. And that I'm just going to verbally do a few with you. All right. So if I said the class quote or quotes their Bible verse 5 times each day, if I say class, that is a singular. Classes would be plural. So the class would quote. The class quotes. I'm sorry. The class quotes. The class quotes. Class is singular, so you use quotes. All right, what if I said the birds sing or sings? The birds sing or sings each morning to wake me up. Birds sing. Very good. Birds sing. Birds has this S. It's plural, so pick sing, which is the plural verb. All right, what about my brother cry or cries when he's not happy? My brother, singular, so pick the cries. Very good. God provide or provides? God is singular, so God provides. Very good. All right, so that will be on the test. All right, so let's start by looking at, first of all, the proofreader marks again, because we're going to use these proofreader marks to do the sentences on the board. All right, so for first of all, we have capitalized. That means put 3 little lines underneath. All right, then if it's capitalized but it shouldn't be, you put LC for lowercase. Remember, you're going to cross it out like I showed you we did for dog. I crossed it out and put LC above it. All right, then insert any missing punctuation. Use a little insert mark to insert ending punctuation, or in the case where they put an apostrophe here for dogs, dog's name. SP for spelling. Spelling mistake. Name. That's not how you spell name, so they put SP above it to let themselves know they need to correct that. And then this is delete. I say, take it away, okay? And that would be for anything that you put there that does not need to be there, okay? Like if you put two words twice. All right, Beth asked, will the trash come today? That is my first sentence. Beth asked, will the trash come today? Well, I capitalized the beginning of the sentence. It does say Beth asked, comma, so that should give you a hint that that is a direct quotation. Very good. Do you see any quotation marks? No. So that is what's missing. So what's Beth asking? Will the trash come today? Very good. So you're going to insert quotation marks after the comma, before the word will, and then insert the other quotation mark. Very good. At the end of the sentence, after the question mark. Do you see another mistake in that sentence? Beth asked, will the trash come today? I hope you noticed today was capitalized. Does today need to be capitalized? No, it does not. Not unless it's the beginning of a sentence, like it will be down here. It's the beginning of our sentence down here. But that would be one of those, cross out that capital T and write LC above it, lowercase. That should have been lowercase. All right. Second sentence says, the baby foxes jumped, played, and yipped. Okay, which would be a noise they would make. The baby foxes jumped, played, and yipped. What's the first mistake you see? All right, hopefully you said at the beginning of the sentence it's not capitalized. So we need to go over there and make 3 little lines underneath the word the. It should have been capitalized. The baby foxes jumped, played, and yipped. This one has quite a few mistakes in it. All right, did you notice foxes is misspelled? Fox ends in an X. CH, SH, SX, and Z, add ES. I wrote that insert mark too big because now I don't have room to write SP for spelling mistake for foxes. Okay, so spelling mistake for foxes. The baby foxes jumped, played, and yipped. What's the next mistake? Did you notice words in a series? Good, so we need commas. So the first words in the series is jumped. Insert a comma. Jumped, played, insert another comma. Then you see the word and, so you can stop. One more mistake. Oh, the end of the sentence? Yes. What kind of sentence is that? The baby foxes jumped, played, and yipped? Okay, just a declarative, I hope you said. So just insert a period at the end of that sentence. All right, for the second 2 sentences, we are just going to divide them between the subject and the predicate. And in the predicate part of the sentence, find the verb. And in the subject part of the sentence, find the subject. So the first sentence says, our class learned division facts. Where would I draw the line to separate it? Hopefully you said after the word class. Very good. So our class would be the subject part of that sentence. Learn division facts would be the predicate part. Look at the predicate part. Learn division facts. What is the verb? The only thing that you can do is learn. Very good. So underline that 2 times. Nice and neat. And then you ask yourself, who learned? Go back to the subject part. Who learned? It was class. Very good. So underline class once. Second sentence says, at lunch, we watched a video. At lunch, we watched a video. Where are we going to draw the line? I hope you said after the word we. All right, so at lunch, we would be the subject part of your sentence. Watched a video would be the predicate part of your sentence. So look at the predicate part. What is the verb? What's your action? Watched, I hope you said watched. If you did not, that is the action. That's what we did. We watched. Who watched? We. Very good. We. Not lunch watched. Lunch didn't watch anything. We watched. So underline we 1 time. All right. Then we're going to review about present tense, past tense, future tense. All right. Our verb for the first sentence is going to be the word bark. Okay. So I wrote today, dogs. All right. Present tense, use the same one. Today is present tense. So you're just going to put, let me switch out and use my blue. Today, dogs bark. Very good. All right, to make it future, to make it past, yesterday dogs barked. So you add D-R-E-D. You have to add E-D because bark ends in a K, not an E. You only add a D if it already ends in an E. And then tomorrow, dogs will bark. Very good. Tomorrow, dogs will Today dogs bark, keep the same verb. Yesterday dogs, that's the past, add D or ED. Sometimes it does change entirely, but I'm pretty sure on the test, let me just check to make sure, but I'm pretty sure on the test they are all the simple ones where you're just adding D or ED. Yes, they are all the simple ones. They're not going to try to confuse you by giving you ones that you have to change entirely. Although you do need to be aware of that sometimes the verb changes entirely for the past. And then tomorrow, keep the same verb, but put the word will in front of it. Will bark, okay? Just the same verb, adding the word will in front of it. All right, let's talk about your book report now, okay? So this is what you're going to do both Thursday and Friday. Work on your book report. All right, so you should have page 87, 88, which we pulled out of our books, and I had saved it to the side because some of you weren't finished with your books yet. Hopefully you definitely are finished with your books by now, because you need to be writing this book report to turn it in on Monday, January 11th. All right, so when you get page 87, 88, at the top you see the word book report. Of course, there's the place for your name and the date. So the date should be January 7th. That's the date you're starting it, okay? And the title of the book, some of you read Secret in the Maple Tree, and some of you read All Things Even Frisky, and some of you read another book, which I don't remember the title to. It was something about an elephant. So you need to put that title, whatever the title of your book is. Then the author of the book is next. That's who wrote the book. The type of book would be Christian fiction. Every one of you ended up with a Christian fiction book. Okay, so you need to write Christian fiction. Let me write that on my little board so that you make sure you spell it correctly. I would expect you to spell the title of the book correctly because you can copy it straight from the book. And I would expect you to spell the author's name correctly because you can copy that straight from the book. Okay, so here is how you spell Christian fiction. Okay, so make sure you spell Christian fiction right. If you need to pause the video while you write this down, then pause the video while you write this down. All right, Christian fiction. All right, then you need to write the number of pages in the book. Okay, that would vary on which book you read. Some of them, I think maybe both of them, I don't know about the elephant book that some of you read, but the book has a glossary. You would stop the pages on the very last page of the story. That's how many page numbers you need to put down. How many, when the very last page of the story. Don't worry about the number of pages in the glossary. Remember, the glossary is like a dictionary in the back of a story. So you don't need to worry about those pages numbers. Just find out whatever the last page number is for the very end of the story. All right, then they say the main character in the book. All right, so it depends on which book you read. Who is the main character with their name? And then you write 2 sentences that describe what the character looked like. Okay? Try to make sure you're going by what the story said they looked like, not by pictures. Sometimes pictures in a book are deceiving. Then underneath that it says write 2 words that describe what kind of person the character was. So now you're describing their personality more. Right? And did the main character change during the story? All right? So you're thinking from the beginning of the book to the end of the book, did they make some change in their life? Now, I know the books that were read, so I know specifically, especially on the 2 books, Secret in the Maple Tree and All Things Even Frisky, that there definitely was some change there. So that should be a yes, because, and then you have to come up with how. How did they change? All right? So, the next thing says, in your own words, tell about each part of the book. All right? So remember, we learned about the beginning, and if you turned over, you see the middle, and then you see the end. The beginning, the middle, end. And we said at the beginning of a story, they are introducing you to the characters in the story and the setting. That's where the story takes place. So you should be introducing me to the people in the story and the place where the story takes place. Then when you get to the middle, you're coming to the problem. What is the main problem in the story? There is a problem that arises, okay? And then at the end, that problem is resolved. sometimes, in one of the stories I know particularly, it did not get resolved the way she thought it would get resolved. Okay, she just changed, definitely changed a lot in her thinking. Okay, the last thing they ask you is, what do you think the author wanted the reader to learn from this book? All right, so this is a matter of opinion. What did the author want you to learn from this book? Okay, Christian fiction's books are usually there to help you learn a lesson. Okay, so that's what you're going to do, right? So, book report today, Thursday, tomorrow, Friday. You can just watch the same video, and tomorrow, even for penmanship, that's all you're going to do is just keep working on that book report. Okay, you do not have to write it in cursive. You can print it, but you do need to be neat, and you need to try to make sure your spelling is careful. Okay, all right. Do a good job on those book reports because they are worth a grade.